Christoph Waltz and Robert Pattinson.
Robert, hey Robert, away. Robert, this is Robert.
Sir Francis Lawrence, Christoph Waltz and Robert Pattinson.
Robert, hey Robert, away. Robert, this is Robert.
He's from this side, from the right side, to the left side.
Could you start here, just in the corner, please? Hi, hello. I'm here.
Lass ihn doch mal rumgehen. Warte doch mal. Ja, lass ihn doch mal rumgehen.
Wenn wir es kriegen, dann... Make me an elephant. Christoph? One more in this corner, please. Robert. I'm here. Christoph? Right corner, please. To the right. To the director, please. Director to the corner, please. Christoph, one side.
Bitte? Ja, die brauchen die auch.
Ja.
Bitte. Aber gehen nicht.
Robert! Robert! Wait, please. Hello. Please. Make me an elephant.
Once more in this corner, please, Robert. Please, to your right the corner, please. Once more in the direct.
Robert! I'm here. Look at me. Open your eyes. Christoph, I'm here. Robert. Robert, wait please. Robert,
Christoph, on your left side, please.
Können wir mal alle, können wir mal auf der Seite ziehen? Warum bitte? Ist doch gleich, wir sind doch ab jetzt. Robert, Christoph, loslassen.
Keep silence. Guys, bright smile to the left.
Right side.
on your left side.
Please together.
One step to the right. On your left.
Stop guys, if you look up here, second row please.
And on your left side. Left please.
Please, don't forget the corner.
Director Francis Lawrence, please welcome him in Berlin. Good morning. Academy Award winner Christoph Waltz, willkommen in Berlin. And very welcome Robert Pattinson. So, meine Damen und Herren, Mr. Lawrence, why is it that fascinating, this world of a circus?
Well, I've always been fascinated with the idea, especially of the circus from the 30s, the 20s, the 30s, and the 40s. You know, it was a time before we had 500 channels and satellite television and internet, and not many people went to see films, and nobody really traveled, especially overseas. And so the circus really would travel around and come to towns and bring magic and wonder. But it was also really an interesting nomadic lifestyle and traveling by steam train and a large strange family of outcasts traveling together and, becoming one. I just have always been fascinated by those ideas.
A question for Robert. I understand you were a fan of the book before signing up for the movie. So what touched you in this story? And also, were you a little bit intimidated playing opposite two Oscar-winning actors?
I hadn't actually read the book before. I hadn't actually heard of it until I got the part, really. But what did I find interesting about it? I mean, I really like that period of American history. I think it's interesting, kind of being the end of the Wild West, but at the same time, there's a lot of money, so there's huge new industries being created. I mean, just seeing the train in the movie, I mean, there was such a new technology, and just kind of combining that with not the bleakness, but just the kind of, how wild the country still was. I mean, and it kind of developed into a very civilized place very quickly after that. But there is, I mean, it's kind of, with Francis's question, I think the circus is something, I mean, just the importance of it to people in the 30s, because there wasn't any other form of entertainment. And just, the fact that it would only come for a couple of days to each of the cities, I mean, that passion that people would bring to it, and just in the audience, I found quite interesting. And also just working with wild animals is something I've always wanted to do. I kind of always want to involve that in every movie I do. I always want to have a dog or something. It's scarier, I think, to do movies with bad actors, because then, you've got to be good, whereas I could be bad in the movie, and you've kind of got to guarantee that the other two will be good. So it kind of makes it easy. It's an insurance policy.
Mr. Pattinson, you are the first time in Berlin, and how do you like the city here? How do you like Berlin? Oh, sorry.
Excuse me.
He's allergic, that's the main problem right now. Whole Germany's yellow.
I actually came for the first time to Berlin when I was like 17 or 18 on holiday. And I had the most incredible time. I think I was staying in the East, and apparently the place I was staying is now really developed, but when I was there, there were galleries opening up on every street, and there was so many things, like there was so much live music, and it was amazing. It was a place I've always wanted to go back to, and I never did. And now apparently it's kind of all the kind of wild areas have all just become like touristy places now. But I don't know. I really wish I could remember some of the bars and stuff I went to, because they were incredible. I had such a great time there.
I wanted to ask Robert, did you actually do all your own stunts, like jumping on and off the train? Was the train actually moving?
That I did, yeah. I was amazed that you let me do it.
I have to say, that was really scary. I mean, the train was not moving that fast, but if you slip and you fall, there's no version of stopping that train fast enough to prevent Rob from being under those iron wheels. But
and it was moving fast. I mean, that's like sprinting as fast as you can possibly go to get onto it. But yeah, no, it was fun. But it was also, we were shooting in Georgia, was it? Or was that in Georgia?
That was Tennessee.
It was in Tennessee, and it was huge amounts of humidity, and it was boiling hot, and I was wearing a wool suit, so your hands, you're sweating so much and trying to grip onto this iron bar to try and jump up. It was pretty scary. I think I probably did most of my stunts, apart from the one where someone's jumping from train car to train car, which is physically impossible. I have no idea how the guy did it. But yeah.
I had a question to Francis. Who was more easygoing, Lady Gaga or the animals in the film?
Lady Gaga or the animals in the film? I would say the animals in the film.
Why?
Well, the animals were great. I mean, especially Ty the elephant. She was fantastic to work with. She was great to be around and very gentle and warm, and she had an amazing trainer, and she listened. The trainer could just speak to her almost in a whisper, and she would do everything. So that was kind of a joy to be around.
Had you been fascinated with circus before this project, or did you especially enjoy to do the film because it was a circus film? Or,
are we doing this in English or?
You can Deutsch or English as you like it.
Ja,
Deutsch.
Deutsch.
Deutsch. Ja.
Ansonsten wäre es ein bisschen lächerlich, oder?
Could you translate afterwards?
I will translate.
Zirkus, ja natürlich, Zirkus war immer faszinierend. Ich wollte nie mit dem Zirkus durchbrennen. Das kann ich nicht behaupten. Aber das Zirkus, so wie wir aufgewachsen sind, und Sie sind ein ähnlicher Jahrgang, nehme ich an. Warum lachen Sie da? Nur deswegen, weil wir nicht mehr so dichtes Haar haben, ist es noch lang nicht lustig. Lacht immer noch. Natürlich eine große Faszination, weil eine Welt, die schwebt. Und wir mussten immer auf der Erde operieren. Und deswegen haben mich auch immer die Jongleure am meisten begeistert. Und unter den Jongleuren diejenigen, die mit Alltagsgegenständen jonglieren. Wenn ein Hochseilartist nicht 100% präzise ist, ist er Matsch. Das kann man vom Schauspieler in der Form nicht behaupten.
If you were to be a circus animal, which one would it be?
There was a bear who I don't know. He never worked in the circus, but he was a film bear. But he was a vegetarian bear, and and whenever kind of film animals get tired, they generally give them like a big hunk of meat or something to make them happy. And he just got given this huge cinnamon bun at the end of the day to keep him content. So I kind of like the idea of that you can just kind of sit around all day and just be a bear and then get fed some like pastries. Like, I mean, that would be kind of my ideal job.
Es gibt ja eine Szene, die viele Teenager in Deutschland natürlich nicht richtig gefallen wird. Wie war diese Szene für Sie und könnten Sie sich jetzt vorstellen, dass Sie aufgrund dieser Szene möglicherweise Hassmails der Robert Pattinson-Fans kriegen oder könnten Sie sich da irgendwie was vorstellen oder ist es alles sowieso nur ein Film?
Es ist, fürchte ich, mit allem zu rechnen.
Wherever you go, it's a little bit like a circus with all the fans camping around. Even here in front of the hotel, we met a couple, and in front of the movie theater tonight. How do you feel about it?
I mean, I guess it's nice. I mean, it shows people are interested in what you're doing. It's nice as well, but people come out for other movies. It's not just for Twilight films, and yeah, it's great as well when you see it in other countries. I mean, it always surprises me seeing, you know, especially it's been such a short period of time when this has happened. There's still definitely a novelty aspect to it, but it's very flattering.
Also Sie spielen ja einen ziemlich erfolgsfixierten Zirkusdirektor. Was machen Sie jetzt nach dem Film? Haben Sie neue Projekte oder machen Sie erstmal Pause?
Beides. Aber was erfolgsfixiert betrifft, stellen Sie sich mal vor, ein Zirkusdirektor hat 300 Angestellte, die, wenn sie nicht arbeiten, also bei ihm, nichts zu fressen haben. Und das ist eine Art von Erfolgsfixierung, die möglicherweise so ein bisschen in einem anderen Zusammenhang steht. Weil man darf nicht vergessen, dass dieser spezielle Zirkus ja in einer Zeit ums Überleben kämpft, in der die meisten an diesem Kampf schon gescheitert waren. Und mir ist es sehr wichtig, dass man diese Geschichte unter dem Aspekt und vor diesem Hintergrund betrachtet. Insofern erlaube ich mir, das Wort erfolgsfixiert ein bisschen zu differenzieren. Was dann auch für mich selbst gelten sollte. Obwohl die Umstände in keiner Weise irgendwie auch nur annähernd vergleichbar wären.
Bezogen auf dieses ganze Imperium Zirkus, was Sie eben auch angesprochen hatten,
Sie spielen ja den Bösewicht. Ist es dann aber auch verständlich, dass Sie, oder rechtfertigen Sie zu sagen, mit der Tatsache, dass Sie eben für so und so viele Leute aufkommen müssen, rechtfertigen Sie damit Ihr Verhalten im Film, also die Rolle des Herrn August?
Naja, rechtfertigen, ich muss ja nicht rechtfertigen, aber einen Zusammenhang sehe ich schon. Das würde ich jetzt dem zugutehalten wollen.
Mit heiligt dann der Zweck die Mittel?
Naja, nein, aber das ist, nehme ich an, keine Ahnung, ich weiß nichts über große Organisationen und ich weiß nichts über zum Beispiel sowas wie Militär. Aber ich nehme an, dass Kommandeure, welcher Art auch immer, oft vor die Frage gestellt sind, und das ist moralisch, ethisch und dramatisch sowieso sehr, sehr ergiebig und interessant. Opfere ich den Einzelnen für die Gemeinschaft? Welches ist der geringere Schaden? Oder idealistischerweise alle für einen, einer für alle? Keine Ahnung, ich habe keine Antwort drauf. Ich bin dankbar, dass es ein Drehbuch gab, das diese Antworten alle gegeben hat.
In the film, you fall in love with a married woman. How is this in real life? Are women you cannot have more interesting for you?
There is no woman he couldn't have.
I wish I'd come up with that answer. That's good. No, I'm kind of terrified of trying to do that. There's no good answer to this apart from that one. I'd like to think I'm not the type of person who'd like to go around breaking up marriages. I hope.
Did you enjoy the fact that you could play a very different role to your work in Twilight in this movie?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. It's really. I've never. Everyone's always asking, is it good to kind of get away from that character and stuff? I mean, I've never seen it as, as such a significant part of my own character. And even within the Twilight movies, I've always seen them as being independent entities to each other. I've always approached movies in exactly the same way since I really started acting. So I never really feel like I'm trying to get away from anything. But it was nice. I mean, it was nice after having done quite a few Twilight movies in a row, that just being able to sweat and being able to, not have a ton of makeup on and stuff. That was nice. Being able to be dirty was a kind of relief. I feel like I should say something else.
Wie war es, mit Herrn Pattinson zu arbeiten? Sie sehen, es kommen eigentlich nur Fragen an ihn. Wie war es, wie können Sie sich das erklären, dass es diesen Hype um diesen jungen Mann gibt? Und natürlich die zweite Frage, wie war es, mit Robert Pattinson zu arbeiten? Vielleicht, oder gebe ich es auch weiter an den Regisseur, Mr. Lawrence, first Christoph Waltz and then you. How was the work with Robert Pattinson, and can you explain the hype around him?
Do you want to go first?
Sure. No, I think it's really tough to explain the hype around him. I mean, all I can explain is my experience, which is that, wherever we went, there'd be loads of fans. And for the most part, everybody was very respectful, and we could shoot, and nobody was, running into set and getting crazy. I think other than in Tennessee, where there was some girls always kind of, I think they thought that, my room was Rob's room, so there was always 10 girls camped out in the hallways of the hotel. But I can't explain it. But I loved working with Rob. I think that he did a fantastic job in the movie. One of the reasons that I cast him was that I thought that personally he was very similar in spirit to the character of Jacob, and that there's, even though I think he likes to think that he's cynical, I still think that he's pretty pure, and I think that comes across in the movie, because I think Jacob's quite a pure soul.
Waltz? Und dasselbe auf Deutsch. Manchmal werde ich gefragt, hätten Sie das erwartet, dass Rob Pattinson auch eine andere Rolle spielen kann?
So weird.
Und ich habe was gegen diese Frage, ehrlich gesagt. Wieso denn nicht? Woher kommt diese Annahme, dass ein Schauspieler, der mit einer Sache weltberühmt würde, nur diese eine Sache zur Verfügung hätte? Völlig absurd. Das war großartig. Der ist ein Schauspieler, nicht wie jeder andere, sondern einer wie die seltene Sorte derer, mit denen es sehr angenehm und sehr produktiv und sehr konstruktiv ist, zu arbeiten. Punkt.
Some of your fans are waiting outside with a guitar in their hands for you. They want to sign you it. Which role does music play in your life?
It used to be a lot bigger than it is now. I mean, I was gonna initially wanted to be a musician, but yeah, it doesn't play such a big part anymore. When I lived in London, I used to do a lot of gigs and stuff, but I really don't have time much anymore. And to write songs, I need to be in such a kind of deep depression that I wake up crying all the time, and I'm relatively happy at the moment, so I'm not inspired.
Wie sehr reizt Sie denn die Rolle als Bösewicht? Würde ich gerne mal wissen.
Das ist ja eine Frage, die ich noch nie gehört habe. Wenn Sie mir sagen können, was ein Bösewicht ist, dann kann ich Ihnen vielleicht eine Antwort drauf geben. Es gibt keine Bösewichte. Die gibt es nur, wenn man die Sache nicht genau betrachten möchte.
Reese Witherspoon was really disappointed by the sex scenes with you. Defend yourself. Was it really that bad?
Was it that bad? I didn't realize it was that bad. I was very happy with my performance. No, I think Reese was just saying it because she just got married and she didn't want her husband, she didn't want to cause herself any problems. Yeah, no, I think that after she said that, I think that has happened to me quite a few times, but people haven't talked about it in interviews, like the just absolute disappointment. No, I think Reese was just she was a little too overexcited about it beforehand.
What was the funniest experience for you by making the movie?
The funniest. Can you remember? Everyone always wants to think of the funny things. I can never remember. Do you remember any?
The funnest?
The funniest.
That Ty is potty trained.
Oh, that is pretty funny. Yeah, but the elephant is potty trained. That's pretty funny. I remember having the most fun on the night where I get drunk and the clowns and the prostitutes and stuff, or the coochie girls kind of have their way with me, but I can't play drunk. Really? Well, I haven't ever tried. It's always a good excuse, and I can't play drunk, so you can just get drunk. But I remember having a pretty good time on that, but I can't really remember what happened. But yeah, that was probably one of the more fun days.
Give us, please, 3 arguments why young people have to watch the movie.
I think that it's a transportative movie. I think that when you watch the movie, you get transported to a different world, and a world that I think most young people don't know that much about. I think that it's also a really rich experience. You go through many different kind of emotional values in this. I think that you laugh, and I think you cry, and I think you're horrified, and I think you're thrilled. And for me, that's a rich emotional experience, and I'm very proud of that, and I think young people will enjoy that.